While I was watching UFC 270, I wrote on Twitter, can we just have Moreno versus Figueiredo once every 3 months? The reason for my request is that every time these two guys fight, it's an extremely entertaining back and forth affair, and I just can't get enough of it. Figueiredo won at UFC 270 this past weekend, but if Brandon Moreno and Deiveson Figueiredo fought 10 times, it's entirely possible they'd each win 4 of them and we'd have 2 draws. Here's the problem though, they just fought 3 consecutive times. First fight was a draw, second fight Moreno won, third fight went to Figgy. It would be unprecedented to have 2 guys just keep running it back and fight 4 times straight for a championship. But let's face it, flyweight isn't a great division for the UFC. And I don't say that with any disrespect to anyone who fights in the flyweight division. I'm saying that for the UFC, the business, flyweight doesn't do much. I mean, we're only a few years removed from the UFC being a hair away from scrapping the whole division. While as a fan, I love the flyweight division, there is a reason the UFC very often puts a flyweight title fight as a co-main event to another championship bout. The UFC does not push the division the way it deserves to be pushed. There are some great, exciting fighters there. But if you're the UFC, you've got a guy in Brandon Moreno who is extremely likable and humble and somebody the fans really respond to. In Deiveson Figueiredo, you might have the perfect foil for that. I do not remember / cannot find who said this first or where I read it on Twitter, so I do apologize for not citing this joke appropriately, but just know it wasn't originally mine. Figueiredo seems like a guy who would beat you up and rob you on the street, and Moreno seems like a guy who would stop someone from beating you up on the street and robbing you. I, as a fan, am torn. I really like Brandon Moreno, just like 99% of the people in the world, and I want him to get an immediate rematch. I, as a fan, also really want to see Oscar Askarov get a title fight, or maybe Kai Kara France. I don't want to see that flyweight division log jammed because these 2 guys just keep giving the belt back and forth to each other. Figueiredo said after the fight that he'd be willing to do a 4th fight with Moreno if Moreno, quote, behaves himself. If I'm Brandon Moreno, this is what I'm saying. And just to preface this, I know he's not going to say this because he is just too nice of a fella and he's not going to get into a fussing match. But I would say, listen, bud, you couldn't beat me in the first fight. I choked you out in the second. You barely won a decision in the third, and that fight could have gone either way. Let's not pretend like you call the shots here, Chief. Again, he won't say that, but maybe he should. At the time of this recording, the UFC has not said which way they are leaning, but if they do run this one back immediately, I, for one, will be first in line to see it. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see this fight for a 4th time or if there's a different fight you want to see next in the UFC flyweight division. I appreciate you all watching and hanging out for a bit. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss anything. And if you need something to hold you over until the next video drops tomorrow, why not check out one of these over here? They're pretty good, I think. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode.